little butt kicking that comes along. William Murray happened to have this happen. He was a person who climbed mountains. He was a Scottish gentleman, and he climbed mountains, and he wrote a very beguiling quote, and he says, in the first stage of your journey to achieve a goal, Providence, the universe, God, or whatever, or whomever you want to attribute it to, confronts you with this question: how bad do you want it? The intensity of your challenges, guys, are in direct proportion to the magnitude of your goal. The greater your goal, the harder your challenges. I'm going to say that again. The intensity of your challenges are in direct proportion to the magnitude of your goal. The greater your goal, the harder your challenges. How hard do you think the challenges were for Oprah? How many no's do you think that Oprah heard in her journey? She told us about the no's. The people that said she was too fat, the people that said she wasn't pretty enough to do the news, the people that said she was really bad at the news. She did admit that it crushed her soul. Pay attention to those moments when you feel like your soul is being crushed, because you're probably not in your right place. If you dread what you're doing in your life, you're probably not in your right place. How many times do you think that Diana Nyad, this person that did the swimming, she swam from Cuba to Key West, and she was like in her 60s, I think, when she did it. She had a successful career. She had a lot of yeses. She had a lot of no's. I really like her story because she persevered, and she failed that swim many times. How bad do you want it? She was attacked by jellyfish. She was stung. She was swollen. She was delirious. There are a lot of things that happened, and she kept swimming that over and over and over, trying to make this record. And a few years ago, she made it because she said, universe, you're not going to kick my butt. I am going to have this. I'm going for it. No matter how many no's, how many stings, how many swollen body parts and limbs, how much dehydration I suffer. I want something, and I'm persisting through the no's. Counterintuitively, this resistance is an expression of love from Providence, or that co-conspiring. Thomas Paine wrote a really good quote that I liked that explains why. The harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. Oh, that's a word. The harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. What we obtain that is too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives everything its value. Yikes. That is applicable to relationships. That is applicable to so many things in life that I can think of. What we obtain too cheaply, we esteem too lightly. It doesn't hold value. There's so many messages in that quote in regards to knowing your value and your worth, knowing what to charge people. For my entrepreneurs out there, my artists, a lot of artists ask me questions in regards to that. Soon there will be an art show that I will be hosting, and that's a question that artists have sometimes, is what do I price my work at? And that's a question I've had at times in regards to my catering and my art. What we attain too cheaply, we esteem too lightly. And that also goes for your dreams, guys. There's a reason why most would-be entrepreneurs give up, and it is the precise reason why entrepreneurship can pay such high dividends. Providence is out to make heroes of all of us. An easy path paved with gold, where there are no potholes to stumble over and no mountains to climb, where all the doors are flung wide open and where all the storms pass us over, makes us weak and spineless. I know that's hard, but it's the truth. It makes us whiny victims who feel entitled to everything going our way. Lord, in our world today, there are a few whiny victims. We call them special snowflakes, and they're on either side of the spectrum. We all have run into a special snowflake that had a lot of things handed to them. And I sometimes observe these snowflakes and think, what the heck is wrong with you? The reason I think that is because in my life, there has been nothing that was easy to attain. There has been no dream that I've wanted that I didn't have to hard scrabble and fight for. There was no thing there, a place that I wanted to go that I didn't have to manifest and pray and work to get get there. Yes, sometimes the path is lubricated and things are easy and everything goes very well. But a lot of times there's some no's, there's some stops, there's some, how far do you think you're going? Do you really want this? There's some stings, there's some rejection, there's pain. And I don't mean to paint this kind of morose story for you, macabre kind of idealization of what your dream can entail. But I think that too often in our metaphysical community, we're focusing on the airy, fairy, fluffy stuff, and everybody knows that I love a little magic and air and fairiness, okay? But what I also know is what you may not about my journey is there's a tear or two shed, and there's a struggle and a push behind what you want to manifest. And you may see me gliding across water and think, oh, look at your trajectory. This is great. Wow, you're manifesting very rapidly lately. That's amazing. You don't know how much track I've torn up behind me to get to where I am. And that stands for everybody who ever achieves or manifests something. If you want something in your life, you can't be spineless. The universe tests your mettle and says, how bad do you want it? You can't have everything going your way. A hero ventures from the world of common day into a region of supernatural wonder. Fabulous forces are there encountered and decisive victory is won. The hero comes back from this mysterious adventure with the power to bestow others with his ideas of what can happen. And that's a loosely worded quote about the hero's journey, the hero with 1,000 faces, from Joseph Campbell. Two key words is fabulous forces, the universe conspiring to help. That, my friend, is a universe wrestling you to the ground and kicking your teeth in and then kind of like pushing you around for good measure to be sure the universe is eager to help you and to send you on your way, but not until after testing your resolve. Now, before we get into really the hero's journey and what that really means, I'm reminded of Jacob in the Bible fighting with the angel from God. Now, if you're biblical or not, there's a story and you can look it up. Jacob wanted his win in life. He wanted not only his birthright, but he wanted to be able to have passage to go into the next part of his life. And so he had a fight with an angel, or a dream where he fought with an angel, and the angel was really kicking his butt. And he was like, no, I want this thing. And so Jacob wrestled with this angel. And I thought it was a fantastic metaphor for the way that the universe will battle you to see if you want the thing you want. In the end, Jacob won. And who wins with an angel? Was the angel really trying to win? Was the angel really trying to subdue Jacob? Because if we're thinking theoretically about angels, then we would think they have superhuman strength and they're these ethereal beings. Who could win against an angel, a sentient being sent directly from God? No one could in logic. No one would. But Jacob won because it wasn't about winning. It was about proving he wanted the thing he was after. And that is what the universe does with us. It asks you how bad you want that thing that you're after. How hard are you willing to work? Are you willing to get up, be rejected, told no? Are you willing to wipe those tears away and keep going? Or are you going to give up and be complacent in the space that you're in? Supernatural aid comes at the beginning of your journey in the known realm. But when you cross the threshold and venture into the unknown, which is what happens when we take that leap of faith, that pleasant little honeymoon is over. I don't know what your particular journey is, listeners, or what challenges it entails. It could be launching a business. It could be trying to succeed in sales. It could be trying to keep your marriage together. But what I do know is that every single thing you want in life, there is a price to pay. The more lofty and worthy the goal, the higher the price is. That's just a truth. The more lofty the goal, the higher the prices. Energy and time will be spent. The only way to conquer your challenges and overcome your temptations is to know your why. Your why. The deeper and purer your why, the greater your ability to conquer. Your why is the fuel that fuels the answers and answers the questions. How bad do you want it? If your why to what you want is to live a more comfortable life, good luck. That pretty much will be something that you could conquer very easily. You want to live a more comfortable life. That's maybe the size of a molehill. A big why makes for big goals, though. Big goals make for big challenges. Your why must be bigger than your challenges if you are to become the hero that you were born to be. And each one of us can become our own hero. Again, whether it's saving your marriage or switching a job, we all have something we're trying to conquer. And that means that you need to be the hero in your story. Before providence or that conspiring moves and the universe conspires to assist you, you have to prove how bad you want it. What do you want? Is your why big enough to do what it takes to get it? Sometimes, guys, maybe the beginning of the story starts with the why. You know you want something. We talked about being open and saying, universe, I'm here. I'm open to what you're offering. But knowing your why, what do you want to do? What's your intention? Something I ask my guests when they come on the show. What's your intention for today's show? I've had people ask me that. I had a certain guest that asked me what was my intention. And I thought, this guy gets it, because they wanted to tap into what my why was so that they could co-conspire with me to make it the best that they could. And to this date, I will say, fabulous thing about setting intentions, that was my most listened to show. I had a guest who came in with an intention and asked me why. I came in with an intention, and together there was alchemy that was made, and we met a goal that I have yet to surpass. That's the power of conspiring with a force or a person who's in alignment with you. So to that guest, I thank you for coming in with your heart ready to be in that alignment. But it's bigger than just you conspiring. You have to have the mettle and the toughness to get through those no's. How many no's does it take to get to your dream? You reminds me of that commercial with the owl. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? There's always something to go through before you get to the sweet spot and the place you want to be. You will be the determiner of whether you succeed or not. You and you alone. You may think that those doors slammed in your face are part of the no's, and they are, or you may think that they are definitive, and that's the end all be all. Well, they're not. For the people that told me no, and people that said I was too much, and the people that didn't like what I brought to the environments that I was in, or were intimidated by it, or overwhelmed, or a little bit just put off because we all don't like everybody in the world, and sometimes we do. Those people were just part of the no's. They weren't there because they hated me, and they may not have even had really strong feelings about me, but I didn't resonate with who they were, and they didn't resonate with who I was. And that was designed purposely so that I could get to where I needed to be, to the people who are happy, not just to tolerate me, but to willingly accept me and want to be celebrating me. And you too have a place where you can be celebrated. We hear that quote, don't go where you're tolerated, go where you're celebrated. And so on your path, don't take those no's as abject rejection. It is not. It's bigger than that. That is a little crumb trail like Hansel and Gretel that's taking you to the place where it's all yes. But all yes doesn't come without jumping a couple hurdles. And so today, I wanted to really impart that to you because it's been something that has been kind of effervescing in my spirit over the past year or two. What we need to do in order to maintain our own self-efficacy so that we get to our goals is to be honest with ourselves about the why. What are we wanting out of the thing? What are we intending? I know that you can do it, and I'm going to continue to do it. And I will be here with you guys evolving through my no's and through my yeses and sharing the triumphs and the no's, because that's how we really grow together, is when we know that someone else that we might think might have it all together doesn't. I know it's not just to celebrate and be petty and be on petty level 25 and say, oh, wow, that's not working for them too. But I've learned my greatest lessons through mentors and teachers who have shared with me their vulnerabilities. And so before you today, I kind of lay myself bare. A lot of no's, but a few yeses coming my way, and I've worked for them because I want it bad. And you have to want it too, and I know that you do because you're still listening. I'm so happy to have you here joining me and sharing energy with me on Evolve. It is really one of the joys of my life. I am so grateful for every single one of you that tune in each week. So I want you to come back next week and we'll keep the conversation going and we'll continue to evolve together.